There you are. I've been waiting forever. I hope you are ready. I'm so glad we're all together. We've discovered a treasure, and I've been dying to show you. The history of joy is right through this door, and it really wants to know you. Now, there are 8 pillars holding up this house, and today we will lean on 2. So put in your perspective contacts and rock your humble hat. It's okay to be weary. Sometimes the best surprise is when you close your eyes, find the door, and step on through. Wait! If you have piano now, clap your hands. Fine, I see. Some of you didn't do it. Grumpies, you really didn't need to be here. Come on!
You ain't never breaking us!
Will you love me on the other side?
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 Will you love me on the other side? The muted sounds of our protest signs scream so loud they punch porous holes into the clouds. The east side of me prays for rain so we can delay this game indefinitely. The west side of me is always ready to ride for what I believe in. Regardless of where my spirit is currently residing, it seems to be such a beautiful day to chant our petition into the sky in hopes that someone who matters hears me. It feels like such a long time since we've been heard. I curl these fingers into a fist, tight enough for my palms to turn dark pink. Launch it into the atmosphere like a satellite broadcaster. This is about human rights. This is about fairness.
There is no backing down. My knuckles attempt to beat the air until it forfeits. I pound so hard into nothing that I'm sure by tomorrow there will be bruising, either upon myself or upon the wind. But that doesn't matter now. There's so much at stake, so somebody's gotta win. Sweet baby Jesus, it feels like such a long time since we've been heard.
It's gonna be a day where I can loosen at least 2 of these damn fingers into a peace sign. But we ain't there yet. There's gonna be a day where we can laugh about all of this. But we ain't there yet. There's gonna be a day where your cousin's gonna marry my cousin. Or you're gonna walk into my place of business. Or we're gonna pull up to the same light, listening to the same sports talk show. And remember this, unnervingly beautiful day of protest and smile in remembrance. But guess what? We ain't there yet. So stay on your side of the street. Or just go home. Yeah, I see you. Hands curled into the same shape as mine. You bastard. You bought my whole style. The same accent, same boots, same takeout bag from the same restaurant. I mean, come on. Who are you trying to fool? I'm serious. You don't want this smoke. I spent all 2020 getting nice and steamed. I'm a teapot you don't want to touch right now. Hey! I said, stay on your side of the street. And I'll stay over here with the same folk. God knows I'm on the side of right. Right?
Listen, it's not that I hate you. I don't hate anybody. That's not what I'm about. I'm yelling about love. You hear me? Don't you get it? I'm yelling about love, but you're not listening. I'm talking about how love is supposed to be stronger than this hate, except you're not letting it. That's what they taught us, right? Hell, we went to the same school. Our churches are blocks from each other.
But all that shit you talking across the road is making it really, really hard for me to love you.
That sign you're holding is making it hard for me to love you. I won't put mine down until you put yours down first.
You ain't said nothing but a word, Big Bird. What you want to do, huh? I'm ready for whatever.
When I was young, I always wanted to know what it was like to be a turtle. You know, to move patiently through the world while everything else is sped up. To be protected from any problem that might attempt to fall upon you. To have some place no one can take away from you to hide, no matter how many times life knocks you about. Life is always trying to knock me about. The world is moving at breakneck speed. A lot for better, but oftentimes it feels like the worst. And I have no shell. There is nothing out here protecting me. And that is so scary.
So when I was young, I always wanted to know what it was like to be a rabbit. Not the fat cage ones that had their spears broken a long time ago. I'm talking about the wild jackrabbit. The ones that move so fast that no predator, no parent, principal, or policeman can catch them. So fast that the sun would be out of breath trying to give me a tan. So quick that anything that attacks, you already see it coming. That's the kind of speed you really need to get ahead in this world. There is nothing out here protecting me. And when I realized that, it was absolutely frightening.
This is a crazy idea, but...
What if just this once?
I mean...
I was yelling at you about love.
All I want is to make damn sure.
I'm not forgotten. So on the count of 3?
Okay, but I'm not going to stop fighting for what I think is right.
I know. I'll do the same. We'll be part of this dance for a long time. But if you don't try to purposely step on my toes, I'll avoid yours. And we can have fun disagreeing until the song is over.
Okay, until the song is over then.
Who knows? Think about it. Arguing with you may be where joy lives.
You are so corny. Are you ready? We'll meet in the middle.
You ain't never...
1. 2.
made it. It was so much easier to show you what the history of joy is about than try to explain it. I see you're smiling now. Almost seems like you're shining now. I'm so glad to have you on this path. Next, we will visit the pillars of humor and acceptance, 2 fundamental ingredients if you're serious about making joy last.
In May of 2020, Crayola unveiled its most inclusive crayons yet, representing over 40 skin tones. They wanted to give kids a chance to accurately color themselves into the world. The company was founded in 1885. That means that for 135 years, the depiction of grandma on the fridge needed to just stay blue. That means someone at the company has wanted this for years, and it took the country tearing itself apart for the executives at Crayola to want children to feel wholly put together. That means the hue of their skin wasn't a mistake, but more so just the perfect shade of masterpiece. Most important, this means there are a lot of debris on the tracks, but we are moving in the right direction. In June of 2020, the Supreme Court rejected the Trump administration's effort to end DACA, keeping nearly 650,000 undocumented young people safe from deportation. The collective sigh of relief, I am told, patched 2 small holes in the ozone layer. Scientists discovered that an extreme love for a person's family and community was the missing element on their periodic table. They discovered that when individuals witness an urban tribe's willingness to fight for the people within it, born naturally or adopted, it actually pumps more blood and spirit directly into the heart and lowers cholesterol levels. But most important, this means that as we are navigating these sunsets, there may be low visibility and a lot of drag in the sky right now, but we are moving in the right direction. In November of 2020, the election saw the most voter participation in 120 years. Not even a pandemic could stop folks from having their voice be heard. Social justice wasn't just a buzzword. This ambitious idea of equality was spreading faster than the virus across the country, swarming to protect our colony. Whether or not you agreed on which circle on the Scantron your neighbor filled in, people were empowered to speak more than any other time in our history. That means that even if some sang a bit off key, at least they were trying. At least they attempted to care. Isn't that what we wanted for so long? Yes, there are a lot of pollution in these waters, but we could still navigate by the sun and the North Star. And I am confident we are moving in the right direction. The history of joy is constantly being told in many languages across many lands. May it land on you. May it be a reminder to listen different, to not just use your eyes to see. You see, some hate is real. Some is just an optical, social, and or political illusion. Some hate towards you is merely redirected energy pounded into them from childhood. There are children inside some of these men and women who never got a chance to have a chance, who lost the Guardian lottery, the parents' Hunger Games, who simply feel lost and are willing to latch on to anyone who attempts to care and guide them out of the woods, even if said savior is a savage. The history of joy states that if you want your perceived enemy to obtain a new perspective on you, then you must obtain a new perspective on them first. The history of joy states that you will never get through to someone who appears to hate you by appearing to hate them back. That external symbols are not spirit, that tattoos and totems are as temporary as the feelings that created them. Look past that. I don't know anyone who doesn't enjoy a good rocking chair from time to time, to fall into a deep hug, to be looked at with pride, to hear music that takes them to places without roads or gravity. There are so many things that we can agree upon. so many ways we can love one another. Isn't it possible to just battle until the shot clock expires and you tap your opponent on the butt saying, good game? With these high stakes, maybe it's just wishful thinking. Maybe I just suffer from an obese amount of hope. Or perhaps you should indulge just a little. Come on, try a small slice of disagreeing with someone fundamentally, but still loving them. Don't worry about hogging all the joy for yourself. We have always had the ingredients to make so much more.
Wait! Knock, knock. Venice. When is this door going to open? Not funny? Jeez, you really do need to be here. Come on.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to come and see my show. Jack was mad cause I'm older than his dad and...
Dad, I only have a short amount of time between meetings, so let's make this quick.
It's Sunday, Tommy. Even Jesus stopped to talk to his father from time to time. You telling me you're busier than Jesus?
Jesus didn't have a mortgage and HOA fees. What is this? What are we doing here with the hat and sunglasses?
I'll have you know, before you came up, I was working too.
I'm looking crazy? Is that why you dragged me here, to show me how senile looks on you?
No, smart Alec. I have an upcoming show that I have to rehearse for.
Are you going to tell me what's going on, or am I going to have to explain to Ezra why I had his sweet old grandfather committed?
I am an upcoming famous rapper. Now deal with it.
Stop playing, Dad, really. I have to get going soon. What did you need?
I've had 8 shows already. I am about to do a West Coast tour.
You're 75. You're not a rapper, Dad.
I have what the kids like to call bars.
You are not a famous rapper, Dad. You are Samuel Connell, retired high school English teacher and grandfather who is obviously not getting enough activities at the senior center I donate to.
My last YouTube video got over 80,000 attaboys.
Likes.
I got over 2,000 buddies on FaceTime.
Friends, and it's Facebook. FaceTime. Never mind. You're not a rapper, Dad.
Would you stop criticizing and listen? You only pick your head up off that phone long enough to half listen to someone and then you give a quarter-hearted reply. Now that is not how I raised you.
Okay, Pop. I'm listening. You are a famous rapper. Tons of fans and women throwing their depends at you. What's your rap name? MCAARP? I'm gonna look you up.
I go by the moniker Sam Satellite, broadcasting good times and good vibes. You dig?
Dad, please don't you dig me. You want me to take you seriously, you have to speak only in old man from now on. Holy shit.
Told you.
How in the world did you get all these followers? These are bots, right?
I'm not sure what a bot is. I know those are bangers right there.
Dad, speak in English.
Look, Thomas. Fine, I'll cut to the chase. I know you got to get back to making the next great self-driving blender.
I told you so many times, that's not the type of engineering. What do you want, old man?
Answer me this. Is it really such a chore to spend a Sunday afternoon with your father?
Now you want to spend time with me? What about when I was a kid and I actually needed you?
I was there. You were too busy with your geek friends to notice me.
Great way to ask me for something, Pop. Call me a geek. You never showed an interest in what I was doing.
Son, I couldn't begin to understand the things you were getting into, and you didn't have the patience to explain it to me. It was all so weird. The outfits, the experiments. Oh, good Lord, you even made saying grace at the dinner table awkward.
How'd you figure that?
You did it in Elvish, Tommy.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. We all have phases, I guess. But my made-up world was just as insane as all the Shakespeare in the Park you dragged us to.
You loved that. You told me so.
I was faking it. Snuck a book and a small flashlight with me every time. You were so enthralled, you barely even noticed.
No, you liked it.
Look, I gotta go. So
I need money.
I know it. How much?
About $5,000 for my music video. Oh, I'm gonna set fire to it. No. It's gonna be a wildfire. No. Lit. Yes, that's what they say. That's it, lit. It is definitely good rapping literature. Wait, is that a no?
I barely like rap as it is. And I like that a whole lot more than I like you. Why in the hell would I back a 75-year-old's rap career?
Because it makes me happy. And I know you don't like me all the time, but we've still got something. We're family, Tommy. You don't just throw that away, right? Tommy? Thomas.
What?
You do still love me, right? I wasn't that bad of a father.
I'm not throwing my money away on your rap career.
But you had more than enough.
That's beside the point. Just because I have it doesn't mean I'm going to set a match to it.
Well, you wouldn't be spending it on rap. You'd be spending it on me. Besides, you owe me.
For what?
Well, I hoped it wouldn't come to this. But I knew I was dealing with a numbers cruncher, so I decided to do a little number crunching of my own.
What in the world is...
This, my doughy friend, is a list of everything I paid for in raising you, from diapers to the Dodge Intrepid I bought just before you went away to college.
Unbelievable.
Well, you better believe it, buddy. Now, this here is when you stuck your peanut butter sandwich in my VCR, and this here is the hospital bill. Right there it is. The hospital bill for when you decided to test how many Pop Rocks you could fit up your tiny nose.
You can't charge me for that, Dad. We are family. It was your job to raise me.
Well, what's your job now? Don't I deserve to be taken care of? You want a sandwich? I have turkey and cheese on wheat.
I don't eat cheese.
I know. That's why yours doesn't have any. I even cut it diagonally.
You remember that?
Yep.
You put the cilantro in this.
Yep.
I was like that.
Yep. People enjoy what I do, you know. I give them a little rap singing and hit them with a few dance steps for my hip-hop class down at the Y. A bit of the old Sam Satellite razzmatazz.
Fun fact, razzmatazz and rap don't belong in the same sentence. Not even in the same book.
I'm worried about you.
Me? I'm not the one wasting my time on a pipe dream.
How can it be a waste if it's something I dream about? Wouldn't the waste be not dreaming at all?
Still.
You used to love the funny poems I'd write for you.
I was a kid, didn't know any better.
Remember the earthworm and the lactose intolerant queen?
Yeah. I'm Benny the recovering disco dinosaur. You were so strange.
Says the man I had to talk out of dressing like a Klingon for prom. Look, I'm the same guy I always was. I'm just putting my poems to music and expanding my audience since my son wants nothing to do with me or joy.
I have joy.
Prove it. Rhyme with me.
You're joking.
I most certainly am not. Do something fun just for no other reason than it's just fun.
This is what I'm missing my meeting for.
Yes, this is what's important. There are two things in a man's life of value: his work and his time. One is infinite. The other is finite. Now the question is what's on your phone how you really want to spend what little time we have left? Sam Satellite broadcasting good times. Tommy boy here is going to engineer some rhymes. Sam Satellite broadcasting good times. Tommy boy here is going to engineer some rhymes.
My dad's gone crazy. Thinks he's LL Old J. Asked me for some money when he knows there's no way.
My son can't help that I'm a whole lot of cool, sad when the librarians are your only friends in school.
I know you're out of money, so let me leave a tip. You try to break dance on stage, you're gonna break a hip.
All that malarkey falling from your lips, I just bought a can of whoop-ass gonna make you take a sip.
Well, I'm gonna... All right, that was funny. Got me on that one. I admit, you're decent at this. Jay-Z has nothing to worry about, but you're okay.
Who makes the rules for us seasoned folks anyway? I just want to keep doing the things that get me excited to do them.
That includes making a fool of yourself on stage.
Oh, now that's the best kind of happy. Young enough to make a fool of yourself and old enough not to care. You know that picture, the one you posted of you and Ezra, where you were dressed up like a princess and he was a knight that was going to save you. That right there. Young enough to be a fool.
Old enough not to care.
Joy. Don't make the same mistakes I made. You keep on being Ezra's hero for as long as he wants you to be. I gave up trying to get to know you way too soon.
All right, Dad. I have to start a tally on how much I'm spending on my son.
Oh, it pays off, I tell you. I play the long game.
When do you need this money by?
Soon. But I'll do you a favor. You agreed to appear in my music video, just hanging out and enjoying the music, and I'll forget about the money you owe me and the vig on it.
Dad, I don't think you want me in your video.
Sure I do. Of course I do, Thomas. I miss you. I miss my boy. I don't know how many more Sundays I have left on this planet, but well, I know I want you and your family around for as many of them as I'm allowed, if that's all right with you.
Why didn't you just say that?
Just did.
How about I just give you the money? I don't think I'm ready for a video.
It's too late. Your cameo in my rap video is how I want to get paid.
You never needed the money, did you?
No, of course not. But I knew you wouldn't stay as long if I just told you I wanted to hang out with my son on the weekend.
You are a crafty geezer, I'll give you that. When's this video? See if I have any openings in my schedule.
Funny you should ask.
lights on, satellite. You ready? Roll sound and action.
Yeah, it's your rap godfather, Sam Satellite here, bringing you good times and good vibes. Joy ain't over till you say it is. You dig? Don't adjust your dial. What you see is real, bringing you fresh rap. I'm a meal on wheels, wearing Adidas orthopedics. Ladies, wear your heels. Just call me bananas. I got so much appeal. Yo, it's strange seeing me on stage, wishing you be this fine when you're my age. If you got headphones or hearing aid, don't need your permission to come out and play. Jack and Jill went up the hill to come and see my show. Jack was mad cause I'm older than his dad, and Jill didn't want him no more. Don't you ever count me out. Age is just a number, and I just forgot how to count. Joy in the morning, joy in the evening, joy at supper time. Broadcasting good times and good vibes. It's Sam Satellite. Break it down. Don't count us old folks out. You know, snow on the rooftop generally means fire in the furnace. After your visit to the nursing home, we'll crank up the system when we're alone. Live long enough, you get lots of fans and groupies. Live too long and you'll meet my social security. Can't show me nothing that I haven't seen. While your granddad's napping, I'm a living the dream. I'm a grandpa rapping, taking over the scene. I'm what happens when you dare to believe. Jack be nimble and Jack be quick. Jack disappeared like a magic trick. After he picked this old man to pick a fight, he never realized that my dentures could bite. Don't you ever count me out. Age is just a number, and I just forgot how to count. Joy in the morning, joy in the evening, joy at supper time. Broadcasting good vibes and good times. It's Sam Satellite. Pete, my DJ Token, aka Lord of the Beats. That's razzmatazz. Don't you ever count me out. Age is just a number, and I just forgot how to count. Joy in the morning, joy in the evening, joy at supper time. Broadcasting good times and good vibes. It's Sam Satellite. Don't you ever count me out. Age is just a number, and I just forgot how to count.
I like Sundays.
Me too. Enjoy at supper time. Broadcasting good vibes and good times. It's Sam Satellite. Pete, my DJ.
Take a seat.
So, what did she tell you? Did she say it was all my fault? I bet she said it was all my fault, didn't she?
Hello, officer. We are here to report a theft and pre-murder and possible child abandonment.
Look, she is loca. Don't believe a word she says.
I just tried to give my daughter a simple driving lesson. And now I must literally sit on my hands so that I don't do anything that will land me in here.
All it was supposed to be was a simple lesson to teach me how to drive. Well, I basically know how to drive anyway. I'm just what they call a late bloomer.
Huh.
My uncle just got me the cutest habanero orange VW bug.
My idiota brother buys my irresponsible daughter Olivia a car for her 18th birthday. Now, a girl with no job, insurance, nor life plans past the summer has a nicer vehicle than me. Does he think to get his sister who's struggling to make ends meet, taking care of 3 kids by herself, a new vehicle? No. You know what he got me for my last birthday? An Amazon gift card with $17.38 left on it from whatever he bought.
My mom's just jealous she drives an ugly green Prius. That's why she didn't want to teach me.
I have my Prius I love my Prius. It is the color of my father's eyes, and I think of him every time I get in it. Bought it myself, and ever since, the kids have not had one French fry or mazapan inside of it.
I told her if she didn't teach me how to drive, well, I basically know how to drive anyway, but if she didn't teach me how to drive better, I was gonna live with her forever. So, next thing I know, we're in her Prius and I'm finally behind the wheel.
First of all, how are you going to operate a 3,000-pound vehicle when you can't even find the seatbelt?
She's yelling at me to put on a stupid seatbelt, which I couldn't find at first because I'm totally used to being on the right side of me. Then she's screaming, 10 and 2, 10 and 2.
10 and 2. Simple. 10 and 2.
I'm like, that's when they had the Fred Flintstone cars back in her day that you push with your feet. Now they tell us to put your hands towards the 9 and 3 because of airbags.
Did you know they got rid of 10 and 2? They couldn't tell anybody? They're just gonna let everyone over 30 drive dangerously? Qué pendejos.
Then she called me an airbag, so I left the car.
It took us 30 minutes just to leave the driveway.
I checked my mirror, hair, and makeup, and made sure my phone was charging and that I had no important text messages or anything like that. Okay, I'm getting to it. I tried to do a quick Insta story because I wanted to be safe and not Insta and drive, but my mom was like totally pouting and complaining, so that was a fail.
By the time we do get on the road, she is driving 10 miles per hour and screaming like we are a Magic Mountain.
I was like, ah! I felt like I was going 40 on a residential street.
She was so slow. I swear, as she was driving, I got out of the car, tied my shoes lightly, jogged, and caught up to her before she got to the stop sign.
I picked up the speed, and things were cool for like a second.
Then she hears her phone buzz, and she swerves to pull over to check it.
I got an urgent text message about a homework assignment. We were downtown at this point.
She doesn't even know who the text is from or what it is about, but she had to stop.
And so, being the responsible young lady that I am, I pulled over carefully and handled my business.
Took my beautiful, almost new Prius and slammed it against the sidewalk.
I scraped her stupid plastic hubcaps a little on the curb. Un poquito.
Scream!
Scream. Just a little.
It sounded like eagle claws scraping against a tin roof.
So by the time I'm done, Mom is holding her head like this is the end of the world. And I look up and two cars totally boxed me in. I had to go back and forth, inch by inch, so that I could wedge us out. And I may have tapped the back of that Jaguar's bumper maybe twice, if that.
Then rammed the Jaguar in front of us 4 times. She couldn't hit a Geo Metro, a Kia.
Again, she goes into another fit and makes me leave a note on the windshield.
She watches CSI with me. She knows you have cameras everywhere.
I'm like, what if he's an American Psycho, serial axe murderer, stalker pervert guy, and we just left him all of our information? Mom is so reckless. Ugh!
I just kept thinking to myself, get her driving, get her out of the house. I repeated it in my head like Padre Nuestro.
Anyway, we're driving and we come to a stop. Mom is mad for some reason. And do you know who I see waiting at the crosswalk? But Franklin Thomas. Do you know who that is? He's won like a bunch of football awards or something. Super hot. I'm already looking cute, but I don't want him to see me rocking a scratched up Prius. So I casually tell my mom to jump on my lap and switch seats with me before the light turns. So then she looks in their direction and she freaks out because Franklin's dad is Mom's boss and she called out deathly sick so she can teach me driving and get her nails did. The light turns green, Mom yells, "Duck!" and she reclines her seat all the way back. I recline my seat all the way back as well, but there are cars honking, rudely, I might add. Then Mom yells, "Go!" So I step on the gas and go. Then Mom yells, seat up, then I yell, "Oh, make up your mind."
I'm sorry, officer. I have to tell you the whole story. You know, because of the whole pre-murder child abandonment thing. I'm not saying that it will, but if it does happen, I need the judge to see she left me no choice.
And that's when I tap, barely, an itsy bit, the back of the school bus. But can you see how it wasn't my fault? I mean, like, why would they give the driver's seat the ability to recline all the way back if they didn't want you to do that?
I think she has possessed her. Oh, did I tell you she murdered some poor innocent ducks?
Right, the duck. Okay, so we're both screaming. I'm trying to get us out of there, but suddenly there's a lot of traffic that just Harry Pottered in from like nowhere. Mom is yelling, "Park, just park!" But because my brain is like fried at this point, all I hear is, "Park, park, park!" I thought maybe someone's chasing us for scaring the handy-capable kids on the bus. I don't know. So I safely drive onto the grass and into the park. And to my credit, I avoided the picnic area and people doing yoga.
However, there may have been some ducks that did not survive.
But nobody likes six outside of storybooks anyway.
I thought I was going like 15. Mom said I was going like 40. Oh well.
It was probably a mama duck trying to get back to her babies after working all day. And this is the thing she got. Una pata asesinada por un Prius en el parque. When you find my car, officer, make sure she gets a good funeral. She deserves it.
Look at your face right now.
I should hook you up with my mom. You both are so impatient and have serious RBF. Are you single, officer?
I can see by the shock in your face, you understand my frustration. Thank you for listening to me rant. You know, I'm a good judge of character and you're a decent man. You probably have kids of your own. But, no ring, eh?
Did she tell you I saved their proposal? Bet I didn't get any credit for that. Stopped about 100 feet from them.
Excellent breaking on my part, if I might add.
Imagine dying right when you're about to propose.
There was this guy in a tuxedo coming in on a horse. He kind of looked like Franklin. I scared the horse a bit, but I did not hit him. I basically saved love. The girl he was with was not hot at all, though, but it was sweet, you know. Real romantic.
It reminded me of my late husband. He was so sweet.
Mom says Dad was like that. Un romántico. I know you don't care, but I miss him, you know?
Every Sunday without fail, he would drive to my favorite sweet shop and buy me a small assortment of my favorite chocolates. Then later, if we weren't too tired, he'd suggest we get the kids to bed early to go to our room to exercise off the sweets.
Long story short,
After the proposal, Mom suddenly yelled at me to give her the keys. I said, how am I ever supposed to learn if you don't ever teach me the correct way? Legitimate question, right? She loses it again and comes around the other side to pull me out. She raised me to not be a quitter, so I locked the doors.
I checked my mirror, hair, and makeup, checked any important posts that I may have missed, put it in gear, and drove
Through the park and to the street. I know that was kind of mean, but you should have heard all the things she was calling me, her own daughter. So I thought maybe she needed to run it off a bit. I know exercise always helps me feel better.
Once we got back to the street and I
Finally let her in, and she wouldn't say a word to me except for home. Rude.
By the time I get in, I am thinking of possible alibis for when her body goes missing later tonight.
It's like, do a person a favor, jeez.
This day reminded me of how mad my mother used to get with me. My dad worked 2 jobs, so my mother had to teach me how to drive. And guess how many ducks were killed or handicapped buses hit in my lesson? 0.
We're almost home, but we're driving near the west side, and Mom tells me to turn left, and we're in like this old beat-up neighborhood. She tells me to stop, and we're in front of this
Old yellow house with white trim. It was cute, but the neighborhood was so not.
So we are driving.
And all of a sudden, we are in front of my mother's house. I have no clue how we got there.
It had a huge orange tree in the front with too many oranges. And there were a bunch of dead and smashed oranges on the front lawn.
The house had a bunch of beautiful sunflowers along the left side and a small garden on the right. Like I said, it was cute, but it wasn't all that. Mom just stared at it for like 10 minutes.
And then, you'll never guess, my abuelita came out. I haven't seen her since I was like 10, but I know it's her. She's like an older, shrink-wrapped version of my mom.
I hadn't spoken to her in
Years because she never. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
She looked all cute in her flower dress and
Purple chanclas. Mom yelled duck again, but I wasn't falling for that twice. I got out of the car and ran to my grandmother and I gave her the biggest hug.
I kept having Mom over, but at first she wouldn't get out. And then she finally did. And they like didn't even talk. They just started hugging and crying.
And then like I'm crying and I don't even know why. I know that we're mad at each other for a while, but I don't know about what. And then my abuela asked my mom what happened to her priest, and she started to cry even harder. By the time we were done, all of our makeups were a mess.
I have to admit, until that moment,
I didn't realize just how much I needed to see her. It was almost worth the price of a duck. I'm kidding, officer.
Mom decided to cancel our nail appointment, which I desperately needed. But it was all good. We helped Nana throw away the oranges from the lawn. We made fresh tortillas together. And like my grandmother's skin is like flawless, so she
tell my mother and I how she uses the orange skins, sunflowers, and manteca
as part of a mix in her beauty regimen. I don't know what magic my abuela has, but she seemed to have calmed down the dragon that lives inside my mother.
It was just good to be around her. And I don't know what kind of magic my mother has, but my daughter didn't check her phone once for hours while we spent time with her.
Just the 3 of us. I love just listening to her speak.
And I'm watching them together.
And I'm just so glad that I'm there, that I can just sit and listen, because I never get to see them together, enjoying each other anymore.
I forgot how funny she was. Or
maybe my mom became more funny now that she didn't have to take care of us. I wonder if that's what I have in store for me. Once I get baby Satan out of the house, of course. Although I do remember,
just before we left my mother's, I was thinking,
you know, if Olivia decides to stay around a couple more years before she takes on the world, it wouldn't be that bad.
We always have to be so strong to prove something.
And here we are, just the 3 of us, just being us. Laughing, no judgment. And I miss that, you know? Thank you.
But then we tried to leave. And guess what was missing?
So that's the story. That's my report. Can you help us? Because if you ask me, the one mistake I made was that I left the keys in the car when I went to hug my grandmother. But my mom didn't notice either. It was all kind of emotional, you know? I mean, is it my fault my abuela lives in the hoodiest of hoods and someone with no taste stole a beat-up green Prius with a duck lodged in the front? Okay, well, maybe the car part is on me, but I just wanted to learn how to drive my cute VW bug. Is that so wrong?
I cannot win with her.
I have never had a disaster of a day like today.
When you go and finish my mother's statement,
can you tell her I'm very sorry? And that today...
Don't tell her when you interview her.
I don't want her off the hook.
But today
felt like it was really, really good.
Today was really
special.
Just leave those files on my desk. Thanks.
It's not easy getting hurt. But I learned that finding joy after being in pain, it's just part of the work. Everything that lives under the sun grows. What the sunflowers don't tell you is how often sorrow can also come along in doing so. So, we must forgive and show gratitude for all the bothers that eventually make us better. All the disappointments that we don't realize really defines us. Honestly, when is the last time you gave a kiss to the divine us? Isn't it a shame how often we have to remind ourselves to be kind to ourselves? Easier said than done, Jovi. You got this, girl. You all do too. Ladies, it is time to take back our pens. The story of ourselves is still dying to be written.
Hey, I love you. Lord knows I love you. To the moon and back. I love you. Hey. But you're going to have to get the hell out of my house. See, this is the thing. I believe that you believe that you have amassed in this 45 years that you've been on this earth more knowledge than your own mother, who I might add has been through and experienced twice as much as you'll ever experience, and then some. I'll let you speak. I sat right here in this chair and I listened while you ranted and raved and reneged on your promise to always be there for me. You remember that, son? Remember all those times after your father passed that you vowed you would have my back? Do you even know what my back needs? Besides some funky ointment for pain from time to time? Well, since you think you're so grown, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to confide in you what my back needs. Currently, my back needs to be rubbed and tickled and scratched and held on to for dear life while I pour 70 plus years of good experience into the unsuspecting body of some man who deserves to receive me. Yeah. Well, if that's not plain enough, son, I need sex. You sort of cock blocking. Don't get me wrong. I need companionship. I want to be loved. I want to be adored. There's too many people on this planet for me not to be cared for, if I so desire. And you better believe your black behind, son. I do desire. I know this is hard for you to take in. Especially since you view me as the virgin matriarch of the family. But let me assure you, young man, you and your sister did not get here by immaculate conception. Oh, I still got a fire kindling in my inner kitchen. It's time for your mama to get out here on these senior streets and see what's cooking. And since you seem to think my role in life is solely to serve you, I'm going to have to ask you to kindly leave my damn house until you gain or borrow or buy some good sense and apologize for attempting to steal my joy. Sunflowers and candy will help in your case. I know this is hard for you to watch or take in, but my life is not dependent upon the good opinion of others. And I'm not allowing anybody's opinion to determine my life, today or from now on. I buried all that with your daddy. But I am not allowing anyone, you or your sister, to steal my joy. Go now, get. You've got your own inner work to do. Let me work on mine.
Think fast. Okay, before you say anything, let me say my piece before I totally lose my nerve. I'm sorry that I've missed the last few games. I haven't been sick. I've been preparing for this. And for the safety, and sanity of everyone involved, I am officially leaving the team. So you finally get what you always wanted. You're team captain. As you can see, a lot has changed. Well, maybe from your perspective. But for me, this is who I really am. Close your mouth, Carlos. You're gonna let in the mosquitoes. It's the 21st century, for God's sake. You were bound to meet or know a trans woman. This one just happens to have a killer crossover and knows you can't go left. Kidding, mostly. Anyways, I have changed my name to Millie, and I would love it if you called me that from now on. I'm hoping you still want some sort of relationship after this, but that's ultimately your decision to make, and as well as the rest of the guys, but they'll follow you regardless. I know that you'll make a mistake from time to time with my name, but I'm just asking that you try your best. Are you gonna say anything? Or, wait, no, I have more. So if we're being honest here, I really don't want to give up being team captain. I just think I have too many fights on my hands with work and family to have to worry about a subpar suburban rec center league championship, although we totally would have dominated this year. I can't give up on my love for bowling. So, I guess I'm gonna try and find a good co-ed team. That sounds pretty good. I can kill him there. I don't know if you'll ever realize how hard and how freeing it is standing here and telling you all this is. Are you gonna say something? Wait. I rehearsed this and I just wanna make sure that I said everything. Okay, go. Okay, don't speak. I'm not used to silence with you, so I am going to milk this for all I can get. So you're kind of a dick. And if I'm honest, I'm expecting the next thing to come out of your mouth to be annoying. If I'm giving you this team, I need you to not yell at people to bend them to your will if we're losing the game. People are different, and you never know what's going on in here. You need to meet people where they are. If you really want them to meet their potential, that's what being a good captain is. That's how we won so much. With you, I have to match my assholiness with your assholiness. With Miller, you have to take him aside and encourage him. And Toby, we all know Toby isn't the brightest, so you have to be very literal with him. You can't just shout out abstract shit like, come on, man, or let's go. Got it? If you're gonna be in charge now, you can't always take people at face value. Sometimes people are going to portray the image of who they think people want them to be. If you give them the grace to be themselves, if you just give them the time and space to find who you are, they will show you the best that they can be. And I can tell you from experience, as scary as this is, as afraid as I am of the next words that are gonna come out of your crummy mouth, if people are free to find who they are and express it, that's a joy like no other. You get it. Put it this way. It's kind of like when I'm feeling charitable and I let you win a one-on-one game. That feeling times 100. I'm kidding. Mostly, I have let you win several games because you play better with an inflated ego. That being said, okay, Padawan, one final test before you're ready to be called captain. Take the pebble from my hand, and the team is yours. You don't, and I'm giving it to Toby, and nobody wants that. Listen, I'm sorry for springing this on you right before playoffs, but I will never be sorry for who I am again. So now it's on you. Check. Ball up, baller. Dude, are you gonna say something? Or what?
Listen. You didn't ask to be here. And I never asked you to arrive, but I'm thinking maybe it's better if you left. This is so morbid. What are you doing, Abby? I was just getting better. Just getting my body back, getting some time back. Lily is in elementary and I feel like I'm breathing again. Like I'm not the worst mother of all time. Maybe only fourth from the bottom, and I'm okay with that. I was getting okay with that. And then you come riding in on a cloudy tequila haze of a fantastic New Year's celebration, and now, as adorable as I know you're gonna be, I may have to ask you to leave. And forgive me at the same time, because I'm not sure if I can't be a mother again. As much as my family will hate me, especially Carlos with his dreams of having an entire NBA team pop out of my vagina like his abuelita. These aren't those good old days, Carlos. Women have ambitions and dreams and careers that exist outside of their bodies, and they have fucked up thoughts in their heads after having babies that you expect them to just bottle up like your precious abuela. Why am I the villain because I don't want any more strings? You are not the boss of me, Carlos.
What'd you say, babe?
Nothing. Actually, you know what? I did say something. I said you're not the boss of me.
Okay.
I can never tell you, Carlos, what I'm thinking of doing. You wouldn't understand. You never look at me the same. And you, I need you to know that this isn't your fault. God just gave you to the wrong person, or at the wrong time. I know leaving is a selfish thing to ask, but one person's selfish is another person's act of freedom, of self-love, right?
So, I really don't want to, but I'm going to have to ask you to go. To leave. Meaning, we cannot be together any longer. We both have known it was either going to be me or you, and it certainly wasn't going to be me. I will miss you. I remember stuffing my bras with socks as a little girl and trying all the tricks and exercises in Judy Blume's book. Sure, it might not have worked for poor Margaret, but I just thought maybe I was special. But then again, Everyone thinks they're special until we discover that we've been all told the same lie. Shit, special can be an insult coming out of the wrong mouth. Remember when Mom thought she was the queen of bargains when she talked down that dentist into using secondhand orthodontic headgear on my face? I'm sure Amy Peters wasn't complimenting my accessory when she had the whole 5th grade class call me Special Bus Sophia. Bitch. Well, here's to praying that she's now fat with cankles and bad credit. Don't say that, Sophia. Be nice to the spirit of that former 5th grade bully heifer. She's special. Even my cancer isn't special. If I hear one more person come up to me and tell me how their cousin, their auntie's ghost, or their neighbor's dog went through cancer, I'm just gonna... This is mine. As scary as it is, this is my pain to overcome. For better or for worse, I hope it's not for the worse. I'm getting off subject. This isn't about me. This is about you two. And today is the last day we're going to be together. So I wanted to formally thank you and tell you it has been a wild ride. Thick and thin, skinny boys' mouths and awkward hands, from sports to push-up bras. We've been through it all. I don't know what kind of woman I'll be once you're gone. The breasts or not. For damn sure, I'm still gonna be a woman. Strong woman. A good woman. A special woman. Oh, I didn't tell you, you remember Bobby, Laura's husband from work? Well, in honor of you, he's gonna tattoo purple lotus flowers in places where you are. Were. You get it. And the flowers, they represent self-regeneration and rebirth. Not that I think you're coming back. Or do you? Well, I did kiss that iguana during that particularly intense and, dare I say, steamy round of 9th grade Truth or Dare. Maybe, Sophia, you have a little lizard in you and we could grow these ladies back. Don't lose the girl. No matter what happens, no matter how you feel after this operation, do not lose your joy. You're stronger than that. There are a lot of people who still need you at your best. We have no budget for a pity party. Here we go. Chin up, chest out. I'll see you two in the next cancer-free life. Let's show them how a woman does it.
La vida sigue, la la
Should you be doing that in your condition?
We love you, Millie dear, but respectfully, mind your business. You're still a rookie to this club. Besides, I only needed to take a little sip. Now it's orange soda for the rest of this decision. Okay, before we bring out the food and really dig into our mess, who, besides me, has something to profess?
I kicked Marcus out of the house today.
Ooh. Well, I damn near held a full-fledged funeral service for my breasts.
I came out to your husband.
And my faith, motherhood, and morality are all being put to the test. Salute.
Joy.
Sophia, you never confirmed was the time that you're going to the hospital. You want us to go with you, shortly.
I decided to go alone. I appreciate it, but I've decided that this is only my burden to bear.
The hell it is.
No. When pain comes to your door, it's at my house as well.
What?
Yeah, there's no way you're going through this by yourself. We're going with you.
That's right, same goes for me. Around this table is your chosen, sometimes slightly dysfunctional, family. What kind of family isn't there to help?
Fine. You had me at slightly dysfunctional.
Glad that's settled. Now, some of you may or may not know that you are summoned here, ladies, because I don't know how to tell my husband that I may not want this baby. That just because I'm a woman, that doesn't mean that changing diapers is what makes me feel worthwhile. They just don't see us as different.
Yeah, they don't see us at all.
Like taking care of them is our sole mission.
Like we have a telephone wire just hanging from our asses waiting for them to call.
Like you said, I'm a rookie at all of this, so I should just sit and listen.
Sweetheart, you have every right to your feelings just like we do. There's no reason for you to hold back on anything. We're just as new at this as you are. We're old school. You're going through what you're going through. We're going through what we're going through.
And we love you for your beautiful, beautiful spirit. That's the light we connect to.
The only reason I could hold a meeting like this is because women like you, all of you, are what give me strength. No. Carlos and I were raised to believe that people such as yourself are opposite to God's will. Who really knows if that's true, but to deny you or what you're going through would be to deny love, the strongest part of my faith.
I could give less than a damn about what anybody thinks or cares or talks about. The only thing I care about is on my application for friendship was, can you laugh at yourself and can you drink?
I can drink.
Yeah!
Prove it. Girl, we are saying bon voyage to these cancer-filled breasts, an ill-placed penis, or anything that gets in our way of us taking a full, deep, and joyful breath. Salud.
Joy!
Seriously, girl? Seeing you stay mentally together amongst this big change, I feel like there's nothing you can't do. My only advice? Hang on to that Wonder Woman sense of badassery. Looks really good on you. And don't let me get you taking any shit, not even from us.
Yes, ma'am.
What am I gonna wear when I go on this date to cover all this good cooking that's filled up this caboose?
I might have something that you could have. I mean, I'm not going to need a lot of my tops after the operation, so you'll have plenty to choose.
Oh, bless your heart, honey. Even when I was a light, airy hummingbird in those days, I had more curves that would fill up anything that your little itty-bitty self could wear.
I'm sure. I'm sure whatever you wear, you're gonna look smoking.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gotta be careful with these old antique fellas that I'm gonna be attracted. I don't want them to be so attracted that they croak.
I'm so proud of you, LaDonna.
Be proud of me, honey, once I get a little action.
Oh. Okay. Well, that sounds to me like some show not tell.
Show not tell.
Hey.
Show not tell.
Hey.
Show not tell.
What's that?
Show not tell is when you feel so good on the inside that you just let the outside tell the story. You shake your tail to tell the tale. Show not tell.
Show not tell. Show not tell. Show not tell.
Okay, Miss LaDonna, you better show them retired roosters what they messing with. Show not tell. Show not tell.
Show not tell. Show not tell. Show not tell. Show not tell. Show not tell. Show not tell. Show not tell.
Stop. You are so funny.
My goodness. Show not tell. Show not tell. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful. I thank you all. Truth be told, I'm scared.
Young lady, you have popped out whole big-headed babies out of your body. What have you really got to fear?
Well, when you're right, you are really right. Ha! Speaking of children, have you decided what you're going to do with your little nugget?
I'm gonna sit Carlos down, listen to what he has to say, but let him know that in no uncertain terms that this is ultimately my decision. And if he doesn't like what I choose, then, well, he can suck it. He can suck it!
Joy! As someone who knows Carlos pretty well, I can officially say he doesn't deserve you. And if he gives you any shit, I do not mind paying off one of my friends in the league to cheap shot him in the nuts to remind him of how lucky he is. I mean it.
That has got to be the sweetest thing anybody has ever said to me. Bless your sadistic heart.
Well, this has been an excellent and much needed meeting, Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm starving, and Millie's left calf is looking mighty tasty. So can we just get to the official opening ceremony so that we can finally eat and talk?
Oh, can I go first? I think I have everything memorized this time.
Of course.
Hell or high water.
Happy, hopeless, weakened, or able.
I am honored and privileged to know the powerful women around this table.
We will always seek joy.
We will always choose love.
There is nothing we cannot make do or get through.
As long as I have you.
As long as I have you.
As long as I have you.
As long as I have you. Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Joy.
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 Now let's get some food.
Okay,
please.
come on.
My God, I'm starving.
Ooh, girls, I'm so hungry.
Yes.
I'm hangry. Okay, I brought us all a charcuterie. Yeah, some good cheese and crackers over here. Did you cook it at home? Oh, wrong. I see.
I'm learning how to cook now, they're on my transition over to food now, like second hand, So cooking is natural for me. So fun. That happens right after I stop cooking.
Oh, wow, that's so nice.
I forgive you. I forgive you. You never asked for it, but this is more for me than it will ever be for you.
There is no emotional, physical, intellectual, or tactical advantage to holding on to hate or resentment. So I decided a long time ago to not forget who you are or what you have done, but I have decided to forgive you. However, do not let this small voice, frame, or moment in time confuse you. I will thoroughly and unapologetically stand my ground and make your earth quake if again you ever try to test my foundation. On the day I forgave you, I figured a party was in order, sent a formal, scented invitation to myself and no one else. There is no need to mansplain to me the ratio of people needed to constitute a party. Just be comfortable not being in control and having say of this portion of my life. Or, no, doesn't really matter anymore. Understand? I forgive you. This is a ballad of goodbye, sung to all the times I cared about what you thought of me. Not holding on to the weight of your insecurity is the fastest I have ever shed pounds in my life. There is now helium on my knees, breath back in my lungs. Shield your eyes from the sun if you wish to see how high my ambitions take me. Or not. Doesn't really matter anymore. You see, I forgive you. I do not need to compete with you on your version of success. I define my joy. I am a woman of worth my weight in love. Te amo every pound, curve and crevice. You adore every wrinkle, mole, or misshapen whatever. Do you see the sequoia-sized smile on my face? It is the ancient and culturally universal symbol of whatever. I am whatever. What I decide to do with my life is whatever, forever, however, wherever, with whomever. Hallelujah. Is this what having balls feels like? Oh, wait, I already got them. We just wear ours on the inside. But excuse me while I hold on to this feeling for the rest of my life. Why are we even speaking anymore? I already said I forgive you. Even though 49 countries lack laws for the protection of women from domestic violence. In the U.S., women represent half the workforce, but still earn less than men in all industries. Since 2015, the gender pay gap has only decreased by 7 cents. Not to mention genital mutilation, workplace misconduct, and trafficking. Oh. Now, brothers, this conversation is far from through. I am not forgiving you because you deserve it, or that I'm afraid, or that I want to relieve you from any guilt, remorse, or burden that you might have experienced because of your actions. I am forgiving you because I am too strong to hold on to this anger anymore. I'd rather pick up passion, strengthen my vocal cords, tend to the scratches on my skin so that the record of time does not fall and skip on repeat. Let the record show I ain't forgetting shit. I am a fierce advocate for the women who have come before and those who will come after me. However, so I could move forward on a particularly gray day in July, I decided to forgive you. And I forgave myself and a bunch of other people who I allowed access to the light I was born with. The home in which a woman's spirit claims as her own should never, ever come with a dimmer. There is not a day or a reason on this beautiful planet she should ever not choose to illuminate.
Often, a problem seems so big, feels like it's gonna swallow you right up. How can you clean up the ocean when metaphorically, you are only armed with your charm and a small cup? Sometimes you don't need a large amount of assets or an army to make a difference. Sometimes you just need raw determination and a worthwhile mission. You just need the right combination of compassion and motivation, a strong cocktail of generosity and inspiration. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, and all the beautiful expressions that Mother Earth has given us, you just need to really look at people. Look out into nature. Imagine how wonderful this earth can be, and actually, just give a shit.
Okay, kids, here we go. Dinner. There you go. Mac and cheese, chicken nuggets. Oh, Missy, what are you doing with that mac and cheese? Why are you stabbing your mac and cheese? Oh, no, we are not rich enough to be wasting all that food. Scoop it. No, scoop it. Scoop. No, with your fork. With your fork. Take it off the table and in your mouth. In your mouth. That's good. Yeah, some more. Get it in your mouth. Come on. In your, that's your nose. Get it in your mouth, honey. Oh, look at all this waste. Okay, yeah, just eat it. I hope this table's clean. Your mom's gonna kill me if you get food poisoning from eating off the dirty table. Oh. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Okay, that's just all. Spit, come on, spit. Okay, come on, spit, come on. Oh my gosh, look at you. Look at you. Oh no, I got it in your hair. Oh. Okay, yeah, wipe your mouth. Come on. There we go. All right, out, both of you. Out. That's it. That's enough wasting water. That's enough wasting water. Out, both of you. Careful, Missy. No, just leave it. Oh. Oh, shoot. Listen, I'm about to pass out, and I suspect that both of you snuck a gulp of Grandpa's coffee when I wasn't looking. So I'll make you a deal. How about I tell you a better Three Pigs story about what happened after the pigs stopped the wolf? Would you like to hear that?
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
All right. And in exchange, you both go right back to bed, and when your mom gets back, we won't tell her about the small fire or what happened to her paintings. Grandpa's gonna get everything fixed. Deal?
Deal.
All right. So, most of the storybooks stop right after the great wolf trickery. Pigs stop the wolf, happy after that, right? Wrong. There was no happily ever after. Far from it. Those adorable pigs, although they were family and loved each other, could not stand to be around one another for long periods of time. That's why they lived in 3 different houses in the first place. 3 completely different ways of living. So they first decided to stay in separate parts of the small brick house. That didn't help very much because they still had to share the same facilities, look at each other, smell each other, and no pig really enjoys smelling another pig. None of them, for fear of the wolf's return, dared to venture outside for longer than absolutely needed. So with the help of other pigs in the forest, they formed the clans of lead, plastic, and brick, and created a massive structure and indoor town that they called Luxuriance. The township spread throughout the forest, extending east, west, and south, each clan steadfast in its belief of superiority over the other 2. The once close brother pigs sat on their prospective thrones as makeshift kings, ruling over their families and clans, until one day.
Tobias, I've told you 100 times. Knock normal.
Sorry, Grandpa Bowman. I mean, your High Kingship. I mean, the prisoner you asked for.
Right. Well, don't just stand there like a brick, boy. Take a seat. A young fool like all the rest of your clan. I offer rest. You opt for discomfort, purely out of pig-headedness. No one ever chooses the smart thing. Fine. Stand all day for all I care. Do you know why I brought you here?
Because you know the House of Lead will be conquering brick soon enough, and you want to use me as an example.
Think so, huh?
Know it.
Why? Why is it so important for my brothers to have all of the township, huh? Is that one more piece of land, pound of gold, that next thingamajig going to miraculously bring them lasting joy? Huh? Gonna make them not greedy, overfed, undereducated nincompoops? Huh? Right. So you are a spy then? An assassin? No. You are much too dumb for that. My men caught you and your female friend trespassing almost immediately. No one told you we have clan-wide rotating passwords we use to greet each other, did they? Some spy you are. So why did you risk your lives to live in this township? Lift your sleeve. You'd rather the gallows than a little show and tell, boy? Just as I suspected, both you and the girl you were with have the markings of royalty, only not from the same clans. Ooh, naughty, naughty. You messed around and fell in love with the enemy, and you decided to hide out here? Young, dumb, and in love. That's more dangerous than a pack of wolves. You know what type of trouble you two are going to cause if my brothers found out you were here? Like I don't have enough problems already. I'm sending you both back before you destroy the fragile piece we're holding on to now. Guard!
Your Majesty, I beg of you. It is said that you are the smartest of all the pigs, the original brick mason that stopped the wolf invasion. They say that you show compassion to those who seek refuge here.
Not to those of the royal line. It is part of the treaty between clans, Section 7, Article 45. If only your brains were as swift as your ability to kiss up. And what do you know of compassion? You, like all the rest of the pigs in this township, just want what I have, simply because it's here. You bore me. Guard!
King, it is not for me. Kill me. Send me back. I don't care, but Naomi, sir, please let her stay. Queen Penelope will execute her in the town square if she's brought back. She's done a lot worse for less. You say I do not know compassion? Show me then. Allow me to learn by your example.
Calloused hands, frayed tail, broad shoulders. You smell of dandelions and campfire. You've been beyond the walls to the south. Hunter?
The best in all the House of Lead. I can track and kill any animal you need, King.
That's the problem with both houses of lead and plastic. You all assume all problems can be solved by killing or building excessively. Information, son. That's what I need you to hunt for. The most precious resource a kingdom, clan, or pig can obtain.
Whatever you need, King, I can do.
Don't let your youth talk you into something your skills can't handle. It will be dangerous. It is more than likely you will not return. But one less mouth to feed is always more efficient. If you do this, and are able to report back to me without being seen by the rest of the clans, your Naomi may stay here in the House of Brick. To the south, at your clan's walls, I hear reports of the structure slowly sinking and water rising. True?
Yes. There is a rumor that the wolves come out at night and dig at our ground around the foundation.
So that they can better climb your walls. Yes, I've heard that too. And what is the word of the wolves' activities to the east?
Naomi told me that the fishing is all but gone from the lakes and rivers.
They suspect the wolves are killing the sea life to starve us out. And here in the west, temperatures rise to unbearable degrees. My advisors fear the wolves are tearing out the very trees that shade us to make rams to breach our gates.
So, you want me to hunt wolves? All by myself?
Poor child. Clearly it was your muscles Naomi fell in love with. Information, son. Information. That's what I need. Speak to the animals beyond the walls of our township. They will know for sure what the wolves are up to.
But we hunt most of those animals. They would sooner kill us than speak.
Remember the not easy part? How much do you love Naomi? Let us hope it is a lot. Because if you do not get me what I need, you will witness the opposite of my great compassion. Guard!
After a long, strenuous trek, Sebastian found his way beyond the wall into the eastern region of the forest. As soon as he got within a couple of miles from Lake Penelope, a rotting smell hit him like he'd never experienced before. As he got closer to investigate, he spots a ginormous bear pacing about, looking like it's ready to kill anything that steps near. He knew he'd have to take the monstrosity out to get to the lake or fail the mission before it even starts. Using the bush for cover, Sebastian got within striking distance when he heard the bear crying, no, wailing. A wail so piercing and full of absolute sorrow that it made Sebastian's heart stop temporarily, long enough for it to hurt and for him to begin to weep as well. Inching closer, he saw the small body of a bear cub, unmoving. The massive bear continued to pace as if she were trying to run away from what was in front of her, but too afraid to leave at the same time.
Is he?
Oh, leave, pig! Today I'm in mourning. Approach tomorrow, and I will happily sink my teeth into your flesh, or die by your blade. It doesn't much matter anymore.
How did he... Do you mind if I ask what happened? Was it the wolves? I hear they frequent these woods still.
Wolves? Wolves? I haven't seen a wolf around here in years. This is my son's killer. This unnatural material, it is all over the lake amongst other trash. The fish get caught in it and can no longer swim. And what happens to fish that can no longer swim? Huh, pig?
Is that this horrific smell?
That is death, rising to the surface, floating to meet its maker. But this plastic weapon does not kill just fish. No, 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 no. Turns out, beautiful bear cubs can get tangled in it and drown while fishing before their mother even notices.
Where did all this waste come from?
Are you so blind, pig, that you do not recognize your own hand?
But I didn't do it.
Ha! You didn't do it. Do you see that drain pipe there, just 10 yards away, delivering waste and debris directly to where we eat? We drink, we swim? Did anyone try to stop this mess before my innocent bear cub lost his life to your very apathy? I see no pigs cleaning up what they have destroyed. Certainly not you.
I'm sorry. This breaks my heart. I'm expecting a son myself, and I cannot begin to imagine the pain that you must be in right now.
Is this the condition you suggest we leave the forest in for your child? Is this waste how you love your children within that fortress?
No, I had no idea that this is happening right now.
No. I bet your streets are as clear as the sky behind those walls. Waste doesn't exist as long as you have your extravagance. Right, pig?
What is your name? Please.
Evelyn.
And his?
Kingsley.
Evelyn, there is no excuse. I will fix this. I swear, I will find a way to make this right.
to believe you were the kind and patient king. My, how you have us all fooled. You were always the smart one.
Were?
Well, let's see. Instead of concentrating on building your army, like the house of lead and plastic, you learned agriculture.
Your men are already surrounding my territory, aren't they? How much time do I have?
As long as it takes for me to leave this sad office and give my general a smile.
So this visit?
Is to negotiate how you will accept your territory's defeat. You can choose to fight, but let's face it, your house is surrounded, infested with farmers and scientists. There's barely a fighter amongst your sorry lot.
Option B.
Surrender now and we will kill you quick and mercifully. You are much too smart to be kept alive. Or return that Sebastian boy and my granddaughter Naomi to me peacefully. And as an act of mercy, I will merely have you exiled.
Why are you doing this? Don't you have enough? Your territory is already bigger than Clan Lead and Clan Brick combined.
Because you are weak. Always have been.
Penelope, there are so many more important issues going on than arguing over which clan is stronger. If we do not work together to stop the destruction to the environment happening outside our borders by the wolves, there will be no food to eat, place to live, or pigs left to protect. Don't you see? They are using the environment to flesh us out and completely exposed. We are no match for the wolves.
The wolves aren't cunning enough for that. Even so, what have you done to fortify your house and build your army to fight them? You stall for time, but the acquisition of your territory is all but a foregone conclusion. Your only choice, King Bowman, is whether you want to give those kids back in order to save your own hide. Don't you always say, no one ever chooses the smart thing?
According to my calculations, collectively we have only approximately 8 months of natural resources before we are in real trouble. All of us.
So you have been spying on us, studying our resources, our armory, and yet you still allow us to take your land. Do the people in the House of Brick even know what a poor king they have? Do you not care for the well-being of any of them? Or are you just out for your own glory, huh? To prove to the township and the whole forest how clever you are, no matter how many have to die in order for you to prove it. I am done with you. Give me back my granddaughter.
No!
Look out the window, Bobo. See how far my army stretches? See what you are condemning your subjects to? I'm confident you're going to make the right decision. I'll give you 4 hours.
Sir, are we really going to let them invade us?
Any news from Sebastian?
No, Grandpa.
If the wolves are doing what I think they are doing to the environment, he is going to be the only one who is going to be able to convince the other clans that we need to work together. This Queen Penelope visit proves they will never listen to me, no matter what I say. I can't believe our entire township rests on the shoulders of a simpleton. What was happening to Evelyn and all the animals near the east wall deeply affected Sebastian. But to save Naomi, he would have to find where the wolves were and report on the destruction they were causing. After another day of hiking, he made it to the west wall. Once he did, he witnessed the strangest thing. Amongst a barren field of cut-down trees sat a very skinny and disheveled-looking monkey, peering into an old mirror, attempting to attach a fake pig snout to his face.
Brother! Oh, you don't know how long I've been waiting for you. Wait. You are real this time, right?
This time?
Oh, snap! You are real! My name's Brooklyn. That means broken land or pretty brook. You take a look around and you pick. Come here and give your fellow brother Pig a hug.
You have been under the sun way too long if you think we're related in any way. You seem unwell. Tell me, monkey, how long since last you ate?
Oh, like real food? Like what the trees used to provide? Let's see, it's been 35 hours, 12 minutes, and this conversation. Yeah, that's the last time, bro. Still can't believe you're real. Do you want to braid each other's hair? I hear that pigs like to do that, right? I mean, I hear that we like to do that, right? I have a comb around here somewhere.
You are not a pig.
Sure I am, bro. I got my nose right here, and I'm gonna make some ears, and I'm teaching my tail to curl just like a proper pig. Soon, I'll be oinking it up with the rest of you in no time. Oh, wait, where are my manners? Hungry? I got some warm rocks you can suck on. They still have some flavor left if you suck on them real hard and have a good imagination.
Brooklyn, is it?
Yes, sir.
How do you stand this heat?
Oh, little trees, little heat. But it's all good as long as you stay busy. Can't stop us pigs with a purpose, right?
How long have you been out here?
All my life.
And your family?
Oh. You mean my foster monkey family? They had to go away when all the trees left. No shelter, no food, all sun and no fun.
After the wolves cut down these trees to build their weapons, which direction did they head?
You seen wolves, bro? I haven't seen a wolf around here since King Bowman caught one of their tails on fire. The wolf was trying to huff and puff down their chimney and go all lit up. Still, it was a long time ago when I was just a little itty bitty thing. But if you say there are wolves, then I believe you, compadre. See, when I said there were 10-foot tall pigs by the watering hole and that they were going to rule the forest, nobody believed me. And when I said that the pigs had it real good on the inside and that the town of Luxuriance is like the most righteous party spot no matter what clan you're in, well, they didn't believe me. And when I said I was supposed to stay and become a pig, well, they left. And they did not believe me. They said I was just starved and dehydrated. But look at us now. 2 pigs wrapped in life's blanket, ready to ditch this wasteland and enter luxuriance in style. I just gotta find those ears.
So, there have been no wolves cutting down these trees?
Brother, if you need me to say there were wolves, chickens, aliens cutting down trees, then I'm your monkey. I mean pig. Just get me inside there, please. Look, all you have to do is go and talk to those monkey brain pig guards and tell them I'm with you. My bag's all ready to go. Just don't leave me out here, okay? Just please.
How could we have done all of this?
Hey, there's a cost to being boss. I am not one of those monkeys that goes around blaming pigs for cutting down all of our sources of food and homes. Heck, even in the South, the waters are rising so high that the forest that's on that side is just one big lake now. Do I blame the pigs for flooding out my friends there? No. Old Brooklyn says that the innovation is good for us in the long run. Now, we don't want to be late. I'm sure we have a party or 4 to get to on the inside. By the way, how do I pick my clan? Do y'all have a sorting hat or something?
Wait, Brooklyn, just wait 1 second. Don't you miss your family? Aren't you upset about all of this?
Well, sure, but my foster monkey granddaddy, he used to say that if you can't beat the powerful, join the powerful. So are we joining or what?
Yep, that's it. Bedtime. Maybe I'll tell you the rest of the story tomorrow if you're good.
No, come on, Grandpa, please. Come on.
Okay, fine. But I get a big bite of each of your desserts tomorrow.
No, come on. Please, Grandpa.
Okay, here's what happened next.
Your time is up.
Sir, Queen Penelope is here.
I have no time for your games, Bowman. Hand over my granddaughter and announce to your people that the House of Plastic now rules this territory.
What if I get the House of Lead involved? I'm sure I can convince my brother Corian that it is not in his best interest to let you get too powerful.
Sir, you need to see this.
Corian has the mind of a child. Do not hide behind him. We're playing a man's game, and you just can't admit to being bested by a woman.
I have no problem with a woman getting the better of me. You can't admit that I just don't like you. And furthermore, what in the world is going on out there?
That's what I've been trying to tell you. It's that Sebastian guy. He's back, but he's not alone. He and a monkey are riding up there. But they're like elephants, lions, crocodiles, birds. Sir, he has a whole forest with him. And Grandpa, they are coming this way.
Time for some action! Time for some action! Save the force and trash it!
Save the force and trash it! Don't just stand there gawking. Stand your ground. Don't let them in. Just what are you playing at, Mom? Is this why you were stalling?
Now I believe we were discussing who gets what territory.
Save the force and trash it! Time for some action! Time for some action! Save the force or trash it! Save the force or trash it!
My boy, I never doubted you for a second, and I see you brought the reinforcements I asked for.
My apologies, my king. You explicitly expressed wanting only information, so me being so feeble-minded, that is all that I brought you.
Okay. Well, you arrived at the perfect time. This, Sebastian, is Queen Penelope of the House of Plastic. Perhaps you can convince her of how close our true enemies are, and we can end this silly battle over territory.
Our enemies are closer and more powerful than you think, Your Highness.
You see?
They are polluting our skies and lakes, cutting down the trees, destroying the homes and food supply of countless of animals. Many of them, like Evelyn and Brooklyn here, I have brought with me today.
For the record, I am actually a fellow pig, and I am just here for the party, but I'm ready whenever you all are to put me in a clan.
I knew you looked familiar.
Oh, and I'm not picky either. I'll just go with whoever is winning this disagreement that's going on right now.
Quiet, you. He hasn't quit yapping the whole trip here.
But that is not the worst
discovery I have made on all my travels.
It gets worse.
Turns out, despite all the destruction going on out there, no matter how many animals they've hurt out in the forest, it seems they have no remorse or conscience for the harm they are causing.
Leave it to a wolf to be so heartless and think only for its own self. Here, Penelope, is the proof, the truth. Let's combine your superior force with our superior ingenuity and intellect and bring these wolves down once and for all.
You just don't get it, do you, Bowman?
Get what? It is so simple what we must do.
Grandpa, we are the wolves.
There hasn't been an actual wolf spotted around the forest for years.
It was your superior intellect and ingenuity that nearly destroyed all of the forest. That killed my son.
Amigo, I'm gonna keep it real with you. One righteous pig to another. Speaking from experience, since I was raised by a foster monkey family, we pigs messed up really bad. It's real sad out there.
But it's not too late. That's what these animals are fighting for. We can't afford to ignore them anymore. We cannot run away from our responsibility to the forest. Any of us.
We are the wolves.
Just where do you think you're going, Miss Piggy? I hear you're responsible for the disposal and creation of all plastic made here. Is that correct?
What are you going to do?
Don't worry, I won't kill her. She needs to live to remember what she's done. In honor of my Kingsley, I'm going to take her back to my lake and go for a nice little swim.
With all her soldiers outside, it might be hard to get her out of the palace.
Well, I'm no longer in mourning. I look forward to it.
I can't believe I was so blind.
As long as you see it now, these animals have traveled a long way to be here. I've gotten to know a lot of them. Come out and meet all that I have brought with me today. Listen to their stories. Many of them have great ideas on how we can help each other to rebuild the forest. I'll admit, I never cared until I heard their stories.
I am supposed to be the compassionate king, right?
That is the word in the trees. So, what's next?
Work! Lots of work! We wolves are gonna have to huff and puff and build this world back up!
There are many paths to joy, but none of them come without their fair share of pain. This could be the moment you decide to be the best version of you, but that is going to take some change. And perspective, humility, and humor, and acceptance. Let's not forget about forgiveness, gratitude, and generosity, and compassion. It's going to take all of us to truly care for and about one another. Oh, I know you've heard this before, but isn't it worth it? So very worth it to hear it just one time more, and perhaps another after that, and over and over and over again, until the pillars of joy and the desire of your spirit become permanently attached. I want to live in a world like that. I want us all to live in a world like that.